here with Professor Ben Auerbach from the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology to present the Foundation Award. The Foundation Award honors those who build dependable and orderly environments where risks are thoughtfully managed and creativity and discovery flourish within clean, well-maintained spaces. So thank you for being here with us today, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor.
Of course. We just have a few questions for you. First, what were the inspirations and core values that guided your commitment to advocating for the safety improvements in Hessler 606, and how did those values shape your approach to collaborating with partners across EHS, CAS, and others?
Sure. So I think that kind of at the heart of what I do, so I'm an anatomist, and so part of being in the anatomy world is always kind of thinking about what is going to be the most beneficial for learning for our students, also what's going to be the most honoring for our donors, because we have to think about what individuals are thinking about after they give their bodies to science, you know, the kinds of environments that they should be in. And kind of putting those pieces together, you want an environment that has no distractions, but it's also very safe for the people who are preparing those donors for our students to learn, and for our students to also be able to learn efficiently and safely without having to worry about, you know, lights maybe being, you know, too close to their heads, or, you know, the lighting not being sufficient. So a lot of the changes that we ended up advocating for in that lab were kind of born from that philosophy of just like, what would the families of the donors want? What would the donors themselves want? What kind of environment would they want to be in? Which is a weird question to ask. I'm not them, but I think that kind of guides my thinking to some degree. And also, what do our students need to be able to learn efficiently and well in that environment? So that's basically what guides my thinking. Of course, general safety is an important piece of the anatomy world. We're dealing with sharp objects. We're dealing with potentially hazardous chemicals, and so because of that, we have to think very carefully about setting an environment where we can, you know, minimize the risks that come with those, but also maximize the environment for our learning.
Wow, it's very meaningful. Thank you. It's a great answer. How did your mindset about safety and its role in fostering a positive teaching and learning environment influence the way you address the challenges involved in the renovation project?
So I wouldn't say that there were any challenges in the renovation project, so I'll start there. The facility services team and environmental health and safety have been tremendously supportive and very helpful and very mindful through the whole process. Gutting and renovating spaces can always be a little bit, I think, fraught, but I think that for us, you know, it was pretty straightforward. So what again drove our philosophy was thinking about what do we need that space to look like for our students. We had a good guidepost because I had previously designed an anatomy lab over in Strong Hall, and so that lab was a good guidepost to kind of know. I had learned from that lab. That lab had a lot of the same types of features of what we had in this one, but I learned from that lab that there were a few things that we could make even more useful to improve the lab, to make it better for a learning environment. So kind of taking those lessons and moving them over to Hessler was very helpful for us.
In what ways do you believe that building relationships and fostering care within your lab and with the broader community contribute to creating safer, more respectful, and aspirational spaces for future healthcare professionals and scientists?
Well, I think this all kind of goes back to my first answer to some degree. It all comes down to fostering an environment that is good for learning, because I think if you're really thinking about an unencumbered environment where students have flexibility for learning, but also have a lot of opportunity to experience learning opportunities that a lot of institutions like ours don't provide. Cadaveric donor labs are not as common as they used to be, period, across the anatomy world, and they're definitely not as common in the undergraduate setting, which is what we're using that lab for in Hessler. And so I think to improve healthcare, we're giving an environment that hopefully the students don't even think about the environment they're in. That's the goal, is like they're not thinking about the lab space. They're stressed enough as is, so it's kind of like keeping them focused on the models and the donors and the environment around them for the learning and not the physical space, I think was a big component of what we were trying to achieve. As far as outreach is concerned, because of the nature of our lab, we don't really get to do a lot of outreach. But at the same time, I think that our outreach is through our students. What they learn and then they go on into their professional careers, that is a major outreach, right, in terms of the longer term impact. And so having an environment that makes it possible for them to have that positive learning experience early on in their journey, I think is really important, because it makes them more prepared and better respectable professionals in the long run, because we foster these types of respect and safety culture in that lab, even with them when they're not actively doing anything with the donors except observing, because we do all the preparatory work. My graduate lab instructors and the other instructors in the course, we get together, we do all the preparation for the donors, but the students nonetheless learn the same kinds of culture that we try to convey when we're teaching gross anatomy or when we are doing our preparations or prepared dissections for the students. So that's a piece of the culture, I think, that hopefully the students take with them after they take the course, and the lab makes a big difference in getting them to that position.
I'm a huge component of experiential learning, and
yes,
just being there is such a big impact for
it makes
the
a
students.
huge difference, absolutely.
Right, so final question. What advice would you give to others at UT who would want to strengthen their lab safety culture?
I think everyone knows what their needs are, hopefully, for their own labs. I think self-advocacy is important. I think trusting that there are other individuals at this institution that are looking out for you as much as you're trying to look out for yourself is really important. I've had really good relationships with environmental health and safety ever since I was hired, and I think that has been a key component for me, at least in terms of being able to get what I need out of my learning environments. And so I know it's different for research labs. My research lab is a dry lab. I have a computer lab. So the contrast between my research lab, which has very few needs and basically has 3 boxes to check every year for the safety review, and then my anatomy teaching labs, which have a lot more going on. I know it varies by individuals in terms of what they need in their research labs, but being a good self-advocate, but also trusting other individuals, if you convey to them what your needs are, to trust that they will pay attention to those needs, I think is an essential piece. So I just hope that people feel comfortable expressing what they need.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I appreciate your time, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
And now you get your award. Yeah. All right.